Evening, I call to order this joint meeting of the Minnehaha County and the Sioux Falls Planning Commissions, and we'll begin with a few introductory comments. First, as a courtesy to everyone, make sure your cell phones are turned off. The two planning commissions work together on land use and zoning matters within the rural areas surrounding the city. This area is displayed on the screen. After information and testimony is presented on the agenda item, the members will discuss the matter, and then each planning commission will vote independently to arrive at a decision. When the joint agenda is completed, the City Planning Commission will adjourn and the meeting will continue as the County Planning Commission considers items beyond the joint zoning jurisdiction. Any final action taken on conditional use permits will take effective 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the Planning Office by Monday, December 4th at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the City Council and County Commission joint hearing on, this has been changed, is to January 23rd at 5 p.m. The final action taken on the next amendment will also be, the final action on the text amendment, which we will hear tonight, will also be heard at the January 23rd meeting. This time, the Planning Commission will consider the consent agenda. The minutes of the October 23rd meeting are included on the consent agenda. Any objections from any of the Planning Commission members on items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will read each item. And should anyone in the audience object to the item, please raise your hand. The item will be moved to the regular agenda to allow you to address the commission later in the meeting. Okay, first, item number 1 is the approval of minutes of October 23rd, 2017 meeting. Item number 2 is conditional use permit 1782 to allow rock, sand, and gravel extraction. And this is petitioners Jason Bowes. Property owner is Timothy Dale Brown. The location is the southwest corner of the intersection of East Rice Street and South Dakota Highway 100. Okay, so you're in favor of this, I take it. Then we won't. Then you probably don't have to address this if no one else does. Okay. All right. So then, item number 3, zoning text amendment number 1704.
That's regular agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all we have.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All approve signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries on the county side.
On the city side, I'll look for a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor of approval of the consent agenda, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved on the city side.
Okay, now we'll move to item number 3, the zoning text amendment. Since that was approved, you are free to go, sir.
Yep.
Anyone who's there for that item number 2? Kevin, talk to us about the text amendment.
Yes, Kevin Hookman, County Planning Department. All right, so item number 3 is a text amendment to amend the zoning ordinance to allow or to change the size of accessory buildings allowed in the joint jurisdictional area. The item has been discussed, or I shouldn't say the item, but the topic has been discussed several times, discussing what would be allowable, what could be something to change, go forward, several times now. Planning staff has worked with the city, county planning staff has worked with the city planning staff to come up with a text amendment that would work for both of us, where 1 acre or less would allow 1,600 square feet. 1 acre to 3 acres would allow 2,400 square feet of accessory building, and 3 acres or more, 3.1 acres or more would allow 3,600 square feet of accessory building before a conditional use permit is required. In preparation for this, staff did review the last 3 years of requests for larger accessory buildings. We've had about 100 requests for larger accessory buildings, and this is a breakdown for jurisdictions. This joint city area had 15 requests. And then for relative size, you'll see there's almost a bell curve based on the chart. The 1,600 square feet, anything in that area would be dropped off because that would be allowable. So that's 7, 2, and 1. And then it would match up with the new chart at 16 to 24 for 1 to 3 acres. And then the 3 acres and above would go 24 to 36. And then a conditional use permit would require for the 36 and up for all cases. So, and then just for a little more breakdown, most of these items have been approved. There have been 3 that, this is total countywide, not just in the joint jurisdiction area, 3 that have been denied or withdrawn. And then 4 of them have been approved with a smaller amount of area than what was originally requested. Out of those 4 that was approved with a lower area, 3 of them been the joint jurisdiction between Sioux Falls and the county. So that's been a common thing for this joint body here. So after staff has reviewed those last 3 years and have talked with the planning commissions about possible changes, the shift to the allowable size based on parcel will relieve some of the CUP applications. And in addition to the permissible area of the accessory buildings, one minor clarification was added to the ordinance because the RC Recreational and Conservation District does allow single-family dwellings and therefore accessory buildings. However, it was not in the ordinance as listed, so to allow for accessory buildings. So that would clarify that as a possible use. Staff finds this year's accessory building request and the request of planning commissions for revised ordinance, and staff recommends approval of the zoning text amendment 1704. And with that, I will ask if you have any questions.
Any questions of Kevin? We discussed this last time at our meeting.
Decide. What, real quick, Kevin, is this presentation going to go to other bodies like the full commissions or? Okay.
Yep. This would go into the January 23rd meeting.
Okay. There is a typo on your slide here at the bottom.
Uh-oh.
Approval is spelled with 2 R's, just a,
Thanks.
yeah, no problem. Like the numbers though, that's good.
Any other questions of Kevin? Seeing none, with an action on the county side,
Move approval.
move for approval. Second. A second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval is approved on the county side.
On the city side, I'll look for commission action.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval of item number 3, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed, same sign. Item 3 is approved on the city side.
Thank you. Do we have any new business at all? You brought up? No, we call for adjournment of this meeting.
Make a motion for Merry Christmas.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Joint meeting is adjourned.